Come with me to my first singles mixer event in Toronto.
This dating event was hosted by Flair Events.
I went to a singles event, and when I got there, it was literally 90% women.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we're going to talk about something women are starting to notice. Where are the men at singles events? They're saying it themselves. 90% of the attendees are women. But what's going on with the men? Why aren't they showing up anymore? Smash that like button. We're aiming for 1,000 likes on this video. Drop a comment with your experience and wisdom. We always pin the best one for the community. Subscribe, and let's get started.
Come with me to my first singles mixer event in Toronto.
This dating event was hosted by Flair Events at the 5th Social Club. As we got inside, we chose bracelets in colors for our love languages. It was such a nice venue with a nice bar, so I got myself a little drink, put my name tag on, and started socializing. You could feel that everyone came here with the intention of finding genuine connections because it was so easy to talk to anyone. They also had a lot of games, which were so much fun as a conversation starter. It's definitely a better alternative to dating apps, so if you're interested in more than just swiping, then you need to experience dating with Flair.
Okay, so we just left the event. So bad. I think we were just saying that we think that we've actually hit rock bottom.
No, it was actually
we think we've actually hit rock bottom, and I think we were either punked, catfished,
like
or
it felt like a sick joke. I was like literally thinking to myself, like, why am I like, how did I get here?
How did I get here?
Men avoid singles events because something that should be social can turn into a night full of rejection. Nowadays, going to a singles event feels like walking into a judgment room where men are expected to entertain, impress, spend money, and compete, while women passively watch, as if they're owed something just for showing up. The problem isn't rejection. It's the imbalance of expectations. These women laugh because they saw several men arrive and decide not to go in. They mock them, cracking up just because they didn't find them attractive. And that's illogical when it's clear that they're not attractive either. Most likely, the men walking in were on the same level as them. But nowadays, many women believe they deserve a high-value man just for existing.
I went to a singles event, and when I got there, it was literally 90% women. And I was like, I'm gonna go now.
We just left the event. So
Bad.
I think we were just saying that we think that we've actually hit rock bottom.
No, it was actually
We think we've actually hit rock bottom, and I think we were either punked, catfished,
like
or
it felt like a sick joke. I was like literally thinking to myself, like, why am I like, how did I get here?
That's what I've been talking about. Look at what's going on. When you're going out to clubs, single events, there's not going to be a lot of men there. Okay? It's going to be a lot of women. All right? We were lied to. Our aunties, mamas, they lied to us. They said we had tons of time. They said we could do whatever we wanted to do, get your career and do this, that. And look what's happened. Look at these single events being all women. And it's probably not going to be the top of the pop crowd that the men are looking for. They're not looking for a lot of single, bitter women. Okay? So I want you to think about that. When you're sitting there being picky and saying what you won't do, and how you won't be submissive, and how you won't do this if they don't do this, if they're not this tall, if they don't make this amount of money, these are your options. These are your options. And this is why I do this. This is why I do this on my platform, because I'm trying to get women to understand this is what's going on. This is reality. Showing up to singles events and it being 90% women. This is what's going to go on. You get what's left. Okay?
She mocks going to a singles event, laughs at seeing unattractive guys, but thinks that if a man from the top 20% showed up, the infamous 666 of the apocalypse, 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, and a six-pack abs. Do you really think a man with all those qualities would be desperate enough to go to a dating event? I highly doubt it, because those men have women coming to them. But it's not just that. If you're mocking the men who attend these events and see them as beneath you, remember this. On the female scale, you're in the same position. Because you had to go to the same event to see if someone would go out with you. That means your pool of options is empty. You're just slightly more attractive than the average man, but among other women, you're a 2. And that's why you hit the wall. Because as we all know, the wall doesn't forgive.
Men always assume this, and I, for the life of me, do not understand. Anytime my friend and I invite guys to come to our singles events, they always assume that it's going to be 80% majority men. Like, they'll be like, oh, like, I think it's going to be a sausage fest. Like, I think I speak for most guys when I say, like, we're not going to come because it's all going to be other guys. That's not the case, ever. Like, I've gone to multiple singles events. I'm hosting singles events now myself. In every situation, it's majority women. And they're all really cool, fun, attractive women. In New York, women here, in my personal experience, they are very willing to sign up for events. They're willing to put in effort to make connections with people, both platonic and romantic. And I have found it not to be the case for men. So I don't know where that perception's coming from. If anyone has any idea, what is that barrier? The reason that we're reaching out to these men is because it's harder to get men to sign up for these events. And yet when we ask them to sign up, they say they don't want to sign up because they think it will all be men. And it's like, no, the reason I'm reaching out to you is because there is no men. Like, what is it? I don't understand.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Look, what you don't understand is actually pretty simple. Men are tired of being bait to attract women to events that, let's be honest, rarely offer them any real value. It just turns into a night full of rejection for them. Plus, their ticket is usually more expensive than the women's. So basically, you're paying to get rejected. And if there are so many women and so little competition, why do you need to campaign to recruit men like you're desperate? The truth is, men have realized that these events often aren't made for them. They're designed to entertain and validate women. That's why they'd rather invest their time in things that actually give them a return.
Women.
I went to a singles event recently, and there was about 60 of us, I think, all up. Half boys, half girls. It was really fun. It wasn't like a speed dating event. We did different games and activities, and you had time to chat to people and one-on-one and get to know each other. I reckon I talked to about 20 of the guys. There was only one that I was interested in. I met a bunch of girls who are fantastic, and we have group chat now, supporting each other through all of the shit dating stories that we're going through. And between the 12 of us, I think only 2 of us liked one person. One of us went out on a date with one guy. Not the best outcome for everyone. The one guy that I was interested in, we had been chatting one-on-one partway through. Conversation on point. We had some things we connected on. We had some things that we were passionate about that the other person wasn't, that we were asking questions about. Conversation flowing, really good. We got interrupted by having to do a group game. So we were like, let's chat again afterwards. We didn't get a chance because there was multiple games, and then it kind of wrapped up and I turned around and he was gone. I followed him on Instagram and I sent him a message. That was about 3 weeks ago. No reply, nothing. Turns out he knows someone I used to work with. I asked them what his deal was, and he was like, oh yeah, beautiful person, like so lovely. I reckon you two would get along really well. I was like, yeah, cool. This was before I messaged him. Dating in Melbourne sucks. I'm not being up myself, but the group of us are all beautiful people. And I mean personality. All of the other girls, stunning, like gorgeous as well. All have beautiful personalities, funny, good careers. We've traveled, you know, fun hobbies. What more can we be putting out there to find these people?
Hey, bro. What? Oh my God!
This is the modern-day equivalent of reverse hunting, but with the twist that women still claim men are the hunters. Come on. If you met him once, he was polite. You had a normal conversation, and now you're stalking his Instagram, asking about him through your network, and messaging him with no reply. Where's the narrative that men are the ones doing the chasing? Because here, the one running a full-on FBI operation is you. That's why I say high-value men rarely go to these events. Because when a guy has it all together, women come to him. Just look at how she's making everything easy for this man. And you can bet there are other women at the same event doing the exact same thing. The group chat won't say it out loud, but we know. Also, because every woman describes herself as a 10 out of 10, when in reality, they're not.
So I went to a singles event, and when I got there, it was literally 90% women. And I was like, I'm gonna go now.
You know, I don't know what I find funnier as more and more women are making these videos. The fact that they're finally figuring out that men are done. They're walking away from dating. They're walking away from relationships in marriage. They don't want anything to do with women anymore. Or the fact that today's modern women can't seem to understand that they are the reason why men are walking away from dating, relationships, and marriage. Well, ladies, to quote someone from a long, long time ago, let me explain it to you, Lucy. And I'm doing so knowing full well it's a complete and utter waste of time because 99% of the women that watch this are going to fall into one of two camps. The ones that will not take any accountability or responsibility and will immediately jump in the comments to deny that this is the reality. Or the other ones who can't deal with the aforementioned reality and accountability that they do need to take, and therefore will shut themselves down rather than have to listen to it. But for that 1% that might actually listen, here's the reality for y'all. For years now, you've all run around saying you don't want men, you don't need men, you just want them to leave you alone. And if you didn't say it, you allowed other women to say it for you and never told them to stop. You allowed those women to speak for you and to tell men to go away, which is exactly what men are doing. Yet you're all sitting here shocked that men are actually doing what you asked, because you've all convinced each other that men don't listen to you, when in fact, we do. We hear you loud and clear. And yet here you are wondering why there's no men at these dating events. I mean, really? Then of course there's the never-ending ridiculous demands, higher standards you've all come up with, where you expect men to be perfect, where you'll deride them for being less than 6 feet tall or making less than 6 figures, even though the overwhelming majority of men fall into one or both of those camps. And don't even get me started on these 6-pack abs and 6-inch you-know-what, which you all demand men have, but when men hold you to similar criteria, you scream it's not fair, it's body shaming. I'm sorry to tell you, ladies, but contrary to the belief you all have, we're not dumb. We see and hear what you're saying. We see it for the double standards and utter hypocrisy that it is, and we're not going to deal with it.
Exactly. When you look down on men for things they can't change, when you set unrealistic standards, like dismissing them just because they don't have money, height, or dress the way you want, you're pushing a lot of them to get fed up and leave the dating market altogether. What they don't understand is that there has never been a balanced playing field. There have always been more women than men. Today, there are over 6 million more women than men. And when you factor in gay men, lesbian women, and all the men who are stepping away from dating, that number of single women could grow even more. But she'll still just blame men for everything. Let's keep going.
But hey, you can keep chasing those perfect 10s, the less than 5% of guys that actually meet all those criteria, even though the reality is, for most of you, you don't stand a chance of getting one of those guys, because they could have any woman they want, and they're not going to settle for an average woman, which is what most of you are. Just like most men are average also. And just like you've rejected all those average men as not worthy enough, well, I hate to break it to you, they're now rejecting you because you're not worthy enough. The difference being that, unlike women rejecting men for superficial things like not having 6-pack abs or being 6 foot tall or making 6-figure income, men are rejecting the average woman because They've become so toxic, so ridiculous with their demands, so utterly narcissistic that it's simply not worth engaging with them. Ladies, you need to look in the mirror and ask yourselves a serious question. Why? As in, why would you think men would want anything to do with you? Would want to be anywhere near you, let alone go on dates or be in relationships with you? Why would you think we'd want to put up with that toxic behavior? And before you all go screaming, it's not fair to label us all that way, remember the other thing that I haven't brought up yet, but I will now. The whole Me Too movement. The one where you scream to the high heavens, it's all men till it's no men. Or that every man should be assumed to be bad until he proves himself to be good. Well, ladies, guess what? The reverse is true too. It's all women till it's no women. And as for women proving themselves to be good, not bad, well, we'll get back to you when we actually find one like that. The reality of the world is today's women have made it completely unsafe for men to be anywhere near them. The risk of a false allegation of harassment or worse is simply too great. And while you all love to scream that they're rare, the reality is it happens by the millions every single year, and men know it. This is especially true at things like dating events, because it's every bit as likely for a man that you're going to turn around and claim he's harassing you, or that you'll mock him, humiliate him, even go so far as making videos about him because you find it amusing that he actually thought he might have a chance with you when he's not even in your league, which is hilarious since most of the women who do these things aren't in any man's league, which is why later on in life they end up making videos demeaning men and putting them down because they've ended up broke, bitter, and alone. And they want to encourage as many women to join them in their misery. So I hope you all truly are strong and independent because that's your future. It's why I've already invested in companies that make things like cat food and boxed wine, and why I'm already seeing a huge return on my investment. And it's only going to get better. So you're going to have to be strong and independent because you're not going to have that partner in life who will support you. It wasn't men's idea. It was yours. Y'all made your bed. Now you're going to get to lie in it alone.
I admit that not all women are like this, but when you stay silent or lukewarm about the current situation, you get labeled the same. Men haven't changed over the years. What they wanted was to provide, take care of their woman, work hard, build a family, and do their best to give her a good life. That's what every man used to strive for. But now, women demand unrealistic standards. Every one of them wants a man who makes over $100,000 a year, and that's less than 15% of men in this country. They want a winner when they're not even winners themselves. And the worst part, when they do get one, they don't treat him with respect. They're narcissistic, they don't want to take care of their man, and they don't even know how to cook a meal. Their only response is to call themselves high-value women just because they have a pretty face. Men are done. If you don't add value, don't subtract. They've walked away from the game of, I'll decide whether or not you deserve a chance. If you bring nothing to the table, you'll end up alone. But you know what never walks away? The wall. Because the wall doesn't forgive. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What do you think about dating events? Have you met women who ended up alone because of their high standards? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.